Hi, Cristiana.
Hello, thanks for inviting me.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
And we're loving the Zoom background, even though you were trying to change it.
Yes, not very successful in changing it, but I'm
It's
sure I
fine.
sorted out later.
So, for the audience, I mean, could you sort of maybe give us a bit of, well, just love to hear your background, really, kind of how you got started in, I guess, where your industry you really came from, which I know is I guess, from a lot of it's from motorsport, and I guess how you come into that, or
Yeah, so, well, the industry I always work with is motorsport. I'm an engineer by background. And I always have been working in mainly like developing safety device and safety things for motorsport. But in 2009, I got involved with the FIA Institute that was for sustainability and motorsport safety. And then I started to gain a bit of awareness about sustainability. Then I think how everything started is really like in 2012, I started at Williams Advanced Engineering. That was a spin-off of Williams F1. And I was tasked with a group of us to write the strategy for Williams Advanced Engineering. And the strategy was all based around electrification, new energy, sustainability. And that is kind of how my knowledge of sustainability and strategy developed. And in 2015, I decided to leave Williams and to go back to do a PhD in sustainability and strategy management in Coventry. And actually, the day that I left Williams was June, actually, 2015. The CEO from, like, the former CEO of Williams Formula One, Michael Driscoll, he called me in for just have a chat and a coffee. And he suggests me to read this fantastic book that was from Alan Jones called Doing Good is Good Business. And initially, I didn't really know what he meant. You know, like I just gone away from Williams to do a PhD, and then I don't know what I want to do. I may come back, I may not. But actually, reading that book, I actually understood that I wanted to set up my own company to drive the sustainability in motorsport. And that book is actually lots of story of companies that started doing good things for the environment, for society, and then becoming a much bigger company, and they build up their business. So it was a bit of a hint, I think, from Mike that after my PhD, I should possibly not return to Williams, but set up my own company and drive this business of sustainability in motorsport a bit further.
Just to sort of touch back on the motorsport, just to sort of for your history, because I didn't actually know this as a fact that came out earlier, was so you're one of the first women to be actively involved in motorsport trackside as a performance engineer.
Yeah, well, there were already quite a lot of women in motorsport. There were especially like IT technicians. There used to be quite a few of them. There was girls at Ligier time, so quite a long time. But I was actually the first woman to be involved with the FIA in their technical department. At that time, we were only 7, and I was the new kids on the block. I was only 26, and it was fantastic to work with them. Everybody was really, really nice and really wanted to teach me things. So I used to like bring my book and ask questions at dinner and any times really. Yeah, so that is how I started in motorsport. It was a bit daunting because there were not many women in a technical position, and was very difficult initially, but I had the full support of everybody, and if I had hard time, my boss will sort it out. So it was kind of like having that positive figure that actually makes sure that you grow and make sure that you don't see the hurdles as really negative, but you learn from them and you can move on.
So why sustainability in motorsport?
Well, I always think that motorsport is a small industry, actually, and everybody is making a wow about motorsport is unsustainable, and we do lots of carbon footprint. But we have to compare with other industry. We are really small industry, and our carbon emission, for example, are much smaller than transport or events or other things. But I think motorsport has got a really big visibility, so can actually make people change, and especially that kind of audience. The motorsport capture that is between 40 and 60 that possibly is not educated in sustainability. So seeing the positive change of motorsport that can really change how these people behave or think, or and increase sustainability as a global goal, really.
So you touched on sort of, I guess, sort of how you got started, but is there any more, you can tell us on your journey? Because I guess you're not like a traditional tech startup company per se, are you? So
now it's so while I was doing my PhD, I think in the writing up year, so 2018, I just decided to set up this company, and mainly because I had a request from the FIA, that is the federation, to do a legacy programs with them and to build up STEM educational activity on engineering. This program is still going on. It's called Girls on Track, and we deliver the activities around the world. That is mainly my activity is actually building and coding with Lego and teaching the girls, like primary school girls, how to do that. So the idea was, okay, sustainability is not just environment, it's 3 pillars, it's financial and social. So let's start with the social pillar. That is what everybody seems to been onto at the moment, because the CSR has been around longer than sustainability. And then let's try to change people's mind and get to understand that sustainability is not just social sustainability, but is kind of environmental and financial as well. So I started with these programs with FIA in 2018, where I built the activity for them and went and implement the activity all around the world for them. And then I think about 4 or 5 months later, after one of the activities that we ran in Saudi Arabia for targeting girls from primary and secondary education, the FIA was asking, oh, would you do a bit of consultancy to help us to build our sustainability strategy? I was like, oh, that's great. That's what I want to do with my company. So I think that was the moment where what I really wanted to do came out, and there's another stakeholder actually see in motorsport could see what I was doing and could actually start asking, okay, let's explain a bit more why we should have that. And then I think this 2020 has been a bit of a pivotal years, because FIA has launched their sustainability strategy, Formula One has signed the UNFCCC, and Formula E has grown much more in our World Championship. So it's like all the stakeholders starting suddenly to realize that they were very behind everybody else on sustainability. So the business started to grow quite organically, I would say, from then.
Can I just ask, what's part of that strategy? The motorsport industry, or specifically Formula One, what components, what technology contributes to them being more sustainable?
Well, it's really a mix. So it's like when you talk about sustainable, it's not just the car itself. There is quite a lot of programs for advancing, well, obviously, like the efficiency of the engine or electric engine, we all know that, and there's quite visible change. But there is quite a lot of programs as well on materials, on carbon fibers and natural fiber, and trying to find alternative materials for the car itself. I'm not sure if you know, like McLaren has got a partnership with a natural fiber company for doing their seat, just to experiment bits of different material, if you want, in it, with a lower carbon footprint. But also, like if you look a bit more of an holistic view, teams also need sustainability for their headquarters. So it's also like what Jill was saying, like energy storage for your energy is everything's really waste management system, like food, health. So anything's like they need all these to be formalizing kind of a plan for the 10 years, how they can try to improve their environmental and their social pillar. They're doing really well for their social pillars already. So it's really mainly with the environmental pillar that they need help at the moment.
I read you had some involvement in terms of the batteries in Formula E as well. Could you just talk a little bit about that?
So when I was in Williams Advanced Engineering, in 2013, we got awarded the RFQ was a proper tender for building the first Formula E electric battery, really. And then I kind of took on board, because some of the stakeholders knew me already from the FIA, I was asked actually to take the lead of that project technically. So I had my 20 20, 25 people building their battery, designing the battery, testing the battery, putting the battery in fire to see what we should have done for it with the fire brigade, trying to write the protocols, because at that time it was quite early times for batteries. It was 2013, 14, people didn't really understand what to do with them and how to handle them. So it's kind of like my knowledge of electric motorsport comes from that, really, from the time at Williams Advanced Engineering running their programs. And the programs have been really successful. I'm sure you know that Williams Advanced Engineering was re-awarded Generation 3 battery that is in 2 years' time for Formula E. So obviously it's like their legacy with battery is still going very strong.
Yeah, that's great. What have you learned about the industry so far? Have you had any insights that you can share? Anything interesting?
In terms of sustainability, I think everybody is progressing and everybody has done some step in the past, but they haven't come together very organically. So what I see from the industry at the moment is you got the stakeholder, the historic stakeholder that have always been there, what everybody call the incumbent, and it's kind of like they've done things, but they're very fragmented, and what they need is help in trying to formulate a well-rounded sustainability strategy linked with the SDG, with the and everything like that. And then you got the new kids on the block, the new championship. Like I'm not sure if you have seen the press release, e-scooter, for example, like electric scooter championship. So you got other championship with a really innovative idea and really good, because electric micromobility is the next big thing. And then that is where you actually started from zero, because they are new, so you don't have anything to build on top blocks. But it's very demanding to build from zero, but at the same time it's very it's a positive challenge, because you can tackle some of the subjects that will not be tackled from other motorsport branch, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, the micromobility is has got his challenge with sustainability as well, and this scooter hopefully will help to address this challenge and to propose some solution, technical and not technical as well.
Sorry, you could say you've just been appointed, haven't you, for the lead?
Yeah, I'm going to lead their sustainability commission for the scooter that has got as well power and sport. So we're going to kind of being the sustainability governing body, if you want, for the scooter championship. So we will set the standard and we will set the roadmap of what they have to improve in terms of technology, like the e-scooter itself as a device, and in terms of event as well, the sustainability of the event.
Yeah, it's very relevant as well, isn't it? The fact that Milton Keynes is now covered in e-scooters, which may not have had the opportunity to be used as much during the pandemic. But it's interesting to kind of think about, what this will look like in 5 years' time. What do you kind of see that space? This kind of electric last mile technology. Do you have any insights into what you expect to see from that?
Well, the prediction that I've read is actually a massive growth for that, and that is the thought behind having a sustainability commission for the scooter, for example, because whoever is the provider of the scooter that you're looking at that are deployed at the moment, except for one of them, actually, they don't really have a sustainability strategy. They don't know what they're going to do with their battery after. And these batteries are smaller than the battery that are in a car, but we're going to have many more of e-scooters. So it's kind of like we're going to have the same size problem that we're going with the EV cars. So the idea is addressing this challenge in a visible way, that is the motorsport, because motorsport is more visible than not any other sport, but I would say it's the second most visible thing after football. So addressing these things should help the industry as well to understand the greater challenge and to help in solving that problem. So the commission will not just be with people from the motorsport industry, but will actually involve people from the micromobility sector as well, and some people from universities, just like a forum where also everybody could discuss how to get everything, to get micromobility more sustainable.
You tell us a bit about your social approach and impact to sustainability?
Well, obviously, like I work quite a lot with local communities. Well, as you know, Richard, we had done a program with Silverstone Innovation Park and Hexagon for helping, teaching kids to code in rural school around Northamptonshire. But also, it's like I've always been a big fan of diversity and inclusion and gender equality. So it's like we built quite a lot of programs as well on related to that, for example, to increase the uptake of STEM subject for women, and as well to get more women into motorsport. And this Girls on Track, for example, is one of these programs with the FIA, where we go around the world. We went to Mexico, we went to Saudi Arabia, we went to Berlin, and we getting the girls to come to the track and to do different activity every day, and to understand what motorsport is. That is not just engineering, is also presenting, is also doctors, you know. And the link with motorsport and social is like the possibility of showcasing and include the whole society as well, like the minorities or like the people that may be with a different social background. So it's quite powerful, I think, the motorsport take on the social.
Do you think you'll get to that point where it is really the gender parity is even? Have you seen a change in your time?
Yeah,
you know?
I have to say, I've been in motorsport 21 years now. It's quite a long time.
Yeah,
and it's refreshing to walk into a garage and to see so many girls actually being technical. Because I remember the first time I walked into a garage. It was a test in Imola circuit in Italy. And one of the English mechanics from VAR that then became Honda and Brown and Mercedes said to me, well, you know, we don't really want women in the garage. The press room is upstairs. And I was like, whoa, I'm here to actually do my job. Yeah. But he didn't realize, because there were not many women there. So it wasn't his fault. It was just that there was not a critical mass or anybody for him to understand that I was there to do my engineering job. But now it's different. You walk in and you see lots of women working on the car. And also you see on tele, I'm sure you have seen on television, like there is much more exposure, I think, in this sense. I wouldn't say we are at 50% in terms of, definitely we are not at 50% in terms of driving, but in terms of working in technical role, I would say we possibly have just eaten the 25%. That is a really good target. If you compare that, the target for the automotive industry for 2030 is 30%. So we're not that far off with the automotive industry.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And hopefully it will kind of speed up a bit more and it will get to that 50%.
Yeah, no, it's really good. We got a small community with Motorsport UK called Girls on Track Motorsport UK. And Formula One have been trying to do lots of webinars to showcase the women that work in Formula One, not just technical, but also like communication and press. And it's like the uptake of girls, even 10 years old, because obviously it's remote, so they can just connect and watch it, is amazing. And it's like having like 80 young girls that are watching like a woman already in the industry talking and interacting with them I think there is also this legacy that we want to leave, like as an older woman in motorsport, to trying to encourage even more. So I think it's all, with time, it's all like untangling very nicely and all coming together.
Nice.
It must be quite refreshing for something like the e-scooter championships that's very new. It doesn't have any legacy there. I mean, does that gives an opportunity for women riders? I guess they're riders rather than drivers, aren't they? Now. Yeah,
it's the rider, like the e-scooter has already started their rider recruitment, and that is like diversity is one thing we want to see. Being like micromobility is much more affordable than being a Formula 1 car or a Formula 4 car. So we are expecting to see a number of women, but also like other other diversity to be included quite a lot. So, and I'm looking forward to that. Not having a legacy is good in the sense that you can build from scratch, but also is very demanding because there is greater expectation as well. So.
Yeah, out of curiosity, how do those applications work? I mean, it's great that you have that kind of socioeconomic diversity as well, because that'd be something new. That barrier is dropped immediately. How are those kind of applications working for people who are interested in getting involved in the e-scooter championship?
So for the e-scooter, I think if you go on the website that www.esc.live, there is just like you apply for it, and then there will be like some tests to give you the license. And then we will organize some days where people can go out and scoot, and like ex-drivers, ex-F1 driver actually can see how they scoot, and they can decide. It's a bit of a very complete sport because actually you need to have the balance that people on mountain bikes or BMX use or freestyle scooter, but the same you need to have the speed and the awareness that motorsport like Formula 1 drivers or motorbikes drive use. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this coming together.
Yeah, definitely.
But
sorry.
For the socio-economical things, I think I have to just say one little bit of things. There used to be an academy in England called Racing Steps. Was like a philanthropic academy that used to help young drivers that didn't have the capability, like the economic availability, just say that, to go through the ranks. And that was the reason. Like I think he finished a couple of years ago. But that had some really great story. Oliver Roland, that is racing with Formula E, with Nissan. The Nissan team is one of the, I call it kids because they're much younger than me, but one of the driver, like the professional driver that came out of the academy that actually give enough budget for really gifted and good drivers to race and to come up to Formula 1 or Formula E.
Amazing.
So what's the plans for Enovation Consulting this year?
So Enovation Consulting this year has been really busy, I have to say. We had no holiday at all, and trying to also juggling the homeschooling and mainly the maths for me. So the English I wouldn't even attempt. So. But yeah, it's a really busy year, and we are growing. So we were actually drawing from a group of associates for some of our projects, but this year we are expanding, and we're getting people on board, and we're getting much structure as well because the contract seems to get longer, so it's easier to do that. Also to make sure that we are inclusive and we very diverse. We just opened like a work experience for students around the area. We got our first student that will do 2 weeks with us during Easter. Well, obviously virtual because of this COVID situation, but still very good. And we got someone coming on board soon that is as well finishing off his MBA, and then hopefully will stay with us. But yeah, so we're growing. So that's I think the plan is getting a bit more structure from a small micro company to build like a, I wouldn't say a much bigger company in the sense that I think sustainability is still a niche in motorsport, but at least a good size company.
You seem to be the go people to speak to.